Hey, I think we're live. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday. I have not done one of these in a while, but we are so glad that you're here. I'm so excited. I love these. I call these Made for More Mondays. I love it when we get other mamapreneurs on here and we get to chat and basically talk all things like mamapreneurship, because let's be honest, being a mama is the hardest job, and adding in an entrepreneurial journey to that is not easy. So if you are tuning in, please say hey, let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're new to me, I'm Emily Smiley. I love helping entrepreneurs crush it solely online. And I'm so excited about this one today. Mindy, thank you so much. We have the amazing Mindy Backsen. I've had her on, but it's been a while. Thank you so much for being on, my friend. I so appreciate you.
You are welcome. And I just got to tell you guys, first of all, happy Monday to you, mamas. But I also want to just shoot out a little disclaimer real quick that my house is under construction upstairs. So I am hiding in my 16-year-old's bedroom. There is pounding and drilling and sawing happening. So God willing, we can get through this without the crazy background noise. But anyways, so yeah, I am so excited to be here. And
yes, and I love it. I love all your fluffy pillows in the background because honestly, you know me, I'm all about keeping it real, right? Like I did put on like nice shirt, but let's be honest, I have sweats on and I told her my hair is still in a pony because I have to make it back to the gym today. And being a mama, like that's what it is, right? I've got 3 teenager girls in my house. My son's trying to do his. They went to take the dog for a walk. Like you might hear noise, and that's just how we roll. And I think that that's totally okay. If you're new to StreamYard, we want to see your comments. Please say hey, let us know where you're tuning in from, because Mindy and I are in different time zones, so that's always fun. But we love to say hey. But if you're new to StreamYard, it will just say Facebook user. We're streaming in a few different places, so if you're on YouTube, welcome. Instagram, Facebook, we're so excited that you guys are here. But please say hey, join in the conversation on all things mamapreneurship. But today we're going to be hearing a little bit about Mindy's story and social retail, which is what she rocks at. Social marketing is kind of, I've heard a lot of people that I connect with on TikTok and Instagram recently hearing a lot about it. I had one reach out to me today. She's like, what is this? I've seen this. And I love that she came to me, right? So, but Mindy is like literally a top earner, you guys. And so you want to tune in and hear her story. And then you want to stay for the end, because we're going to tell you, if you want to know more about it, we're going to give you that. So it's going to be awesome. So again, Mindy, thank you so very much. Before we get into like, you know, what the details of social retail is, I would just love it if you could just like give, you know, my pages, my viewers, my subscribers, like a little bit of background about your story, you know, where you live, where you're coming from. I know you're a mom, and just kind of telling us a little bit more about you. So yeah.
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Woohoo! Okay, so it's kind of hard sometimes to talk about yourself, but I'll tell you what, you know what's cool though, is getting to jump on, do things like this, because I've been in the places where many women maybe are or have been in the workforce trying to juggle it all and spin all the plates. And if I can share my story and inspire somebody today, that's the goal. So anyway, I've got 3 kids. Well, one is an adult. He's 21. My daughter's 16, hence the beautiful decor we have in this room. And, and my youngest is 12. Long story short, I'll give you a little bit of background on me. I came from the insurance and financial services industry. That was my career path. So I was in that field for about 13 years, working both on the corporate side and for independent agents. Anyway, about 2015, network marketing was introduced. Now, I've been asked to sell, you know, different things and this kind of stuff, but I'm just not a salesperson, right? Like we hear that all the time. Like I don't really.
So many people can relate to that. Yes.
Yeah, right. Like nobody likes to sell someone. But it's a funny thing, you know, in the insurance industry, that's what we did all the time. It was sales. And anyway, I was more on the supportive lines of things. So 2015 comes along. I buy some product. I love the product. I'm having success with the product. I've got a lot of people asking the person that sold it to me about it. And she said, hey, would you be open to checking out the business? And I'm like, well, okay, I'll go to the meeting. Went to the meeting, was blown away. And here's what sold me. What sold me on network marketing was time and financial freedom. And they sold me well, man. I was like hook, line, and sinker all in. Okay, here's how that looked, friends. And maybe this is familiar to you, Emily.
I think a lot of people are going to relate to this.
Yeah. So here's how time freedom worked. Time freedom was putting in 40 hours a week at work. then doing home parties, then getting on 3-way calls, then going to vendor shows, then running product around from here, there, and everywhere, delivering product. It was the furthest thing from time freedom I've ever experienced in my life. But I was like, I just got the dream. I was like, you know what? But this can give me what I want eventually, right? They continue to sell you on this thing. Just put in the years, put in the time. You guys, I was 4.5 years, okay? 4.5 years, not with the same company, but same business model. And let me just clarify something. Network marketing and social retail are not the same thing.
Yes.
They both involve networking, but they're different. Anyway, so let me get to the point. So 4.5 years, hustling my face off, basically giving my family what was left over of me at the end of the day, which God knows, I mean, sometimes I was at these meetings till 10 o'clock at night. I was exhausted. I was done. I was stuck in my 9 to 5 at the time, also feeling defeated. And honestly, I think it was just a godsend that one day in my news feed dropped John and Nadia Melton. And Emily, I was blown away by the content they were sharing. And I mean, if we want to park on this at all, we can, and I can go forward and tell my story from there. But I just will tell you, everything changed when I caught the vision of social retail, when I understood the concept, and then I partnered the concept with the strategy and was like, and then boom, life has changed.
Do you think that it was the model that was so broken? Like, what would you say in pivoting? Because you were doing all the things, right? Like, you were doing the meetings, you were doing the deliveries, you were doing the, all of the things. How were you doing? Were you doing well? Were you doing okay with it? Like, were you feeling stuck, or you just overworked?
So good questions. So I'll tell you guys, and for those of you that are in the network marketing space, this will make sense to you. For some of you that aren't, just hang with me. So I was doing quite well. The business model, like I kind of talked about, the business model though was recruitment based, meaning recruit to recruit to recruit to recruit, sign up business partners, distributors, whatever you want to call them. That was heavy recruiting. Yeah. Because that's how you made the money. You didn't make, right. I don't remember how the commission structure was for actual true customers.
Right.
But the business model, here's the thing. I did have some success when I very first started, and then the company that I was with got bought out. So our leg moved and whatever. Here's what I want to tell you guys. There are some people in this industry that have massive success. And you're like, how are they doing? Like, I'm doing the same things too. How are they so much more successful? I want to tell you something. I was on something called a power leg. Okay. A power leg. So I was having way more success than the average guy, because I just had to build one side of the comp plan, or one leg of the tree, if you will. And that's not it. Oh, it's not fair. Here's what happened, Emily. I'm up there, I'm presenting the plan, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling people, you can do what I do.
Right.
That got me, like, it just makes me sick to think about that. I didn't realize what I was selling them, not the truth. Yeah.
And because, looking back now, you wouldn't say that, right?
Oh my gosh, no, I can't say that. I can't tell your girlfriends, if we have an at-home party, which again, we'll talk about duplication too, but right. I can't tell your friends, hey, Emily, if they sign up and then they're on the inside of an inside leg, that is not, I don't want to say it's not fair, but it's really not fair.
Yes. Well, and I think that's where, like, there's so much stigma sometimes around the profession, because the reality is, like, people say all the time, like, oh, are you still doing that thing? And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't do it if it didn't work. Right. And there was people that were totally crushing it. But I think there's so many people that can relate, because honestly, like, even with my last company, I was like getting people and they go, oh, great, I'm a distributor now. And that's so sad, because I was just getting a customer and they assumed that they were already doing all of the things because they thought that that's what that meant. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I think so many people, instead, I was just like, no, I just want to level you as a customer. If you want to do this, hey, let's rock it. But I got to the point, and I think so many can relate, like with you, to where I just wasn't even sharing that side of it because I didn't want to plug any people in. I mean, I had built up the highest commission and I was doing okay, but I wasn't seeing my team like succeed. And I think so many people can relate to that as well. Just because, and if you can't, if you're like, hey guys, I've never done this, I don't even know what you're talking about, like whatever, like foreign language, we get it. But the reason why you want to stay tuned in is because it doesn't have to be that way. Like my whole point is to help mamas crush it. And I know that Mindy's is the same, because you don't want to have to say, well, formerly I did this, and like, you don't want that story. We want to help you jump all of that and know who to align and what you're looking for. So it's kind of educational in that, like, you need to know what it is that you want and what it is that you're looking for before you even get started. And let me just say, I see some of you guys hopping on. Please say, hey, if you haven't used StreamYard, you do have to like click the access so we can see your little name and face. If you're watching this on the replay, let us know. Put hashtag replay in the comments. I want to absolutely go back in all the places that we're streaming and say, hey, we want you to join in the conversation. So Mindy is sharing her story. So Mindy, you know, you said you started following John and Nadia, which is exactly kind of where my story is, although it's slightly different. But I want to hear yours, because when you were, okay, you said you were doing well, right? But you were doing all of the things. And did you get to a point where you felt a little, I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but like you realized that you were on this strong leg and you're selling this dream or whatever, and then now you've seen a different way? Was it just like a light switch? Was it a quick pivot? Like, was it hard? I'm curious, because I know part of your journey, but like, what was it for you that was willing to abandon maybe good, right, for you, and pivot into this new system? What was that?
You know, I'll tell you, it's when you see, I don't care how much I win. If my team's not winning, that is a defeating feeling, because when you have people come to you that want to work a business, and this we have to talk duplication, because this is where it's at in this space, network marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call it. If you lack duplication, there's the giant, huge problem in your
oh my God.
I mean,
so bad. Like, I have to say this.
Yeah.
It got to the point at my last company, I swear to God, I was like, if I hear that I'm not duplicating one more time, I'm going to freaking scream. I felt like I was doing all of the things, but nobody else wanted to do all of the things that I was willing to do. So that doesn't create duplication. And everything was fairly dependent on me, which was super frustrating, because, you know, and I did not understand this coming in. So that's why, like, we're getting into this, guys. I want to share what works about this. But I think so many can relate, because I was so frustrated that a good day was being on the phone for like 5 hours. Now, and people say, oh, it worked. Yeah, it did. It worked. I'm a talker. I'm a people person, but it would take me an hour to get these phone calls. And, you know, my team would say, well, you need to like double that. And that just wasn't the reality, because I was the intro, I was the presentation, I was the closer, I was the answer. And at the end, oh, by the way, are you ready? And they just met me. There was no duplication system. And I feel like everybody says we have a simple system, we have a duplicatable system, but the reality is the game's changed, right? People aren't willing to they don't want to be on the freaking phone. I don't want to be on the phone. I didn't want to be on the phone for that many hours. And so I was starting to tell my team, like, okay, you just got to bring them to a call with me. I'll do the call, and then we'll close them one by one by one by one by one. So I think so many of you guys, like, please let us know. I would love to know, like, have you had that? Did you feel as frustrated that I swear I was going to scream if I got on one more coaching call and they said, you're just not duplicating as deep as you need to. You just got to learn to fall in love with what we do.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. Here's the deal. Here's the thing, friends. If you are searching right now, or maybe this is kind of getting you to really kind of think a little bit beyond the box that you've been in for a while, because trust me, I think sometimes leadership they make us slam our blinders on. You don't want to look at that. No, you don't want to see that. Like because of a scarcity mindset, to be honest with you, as they should be, because social retail is truly disrupting all of what network marketing knows to be true. We are. It's just the truth. It's really the truth. Here's the one question, though, that I think that you need to ask when you're talking duplication. Show me how. Show me I want to see how you duplicate. What does that look like?
Before. I wish I had known to ask that before, honestly, because I went to every company event. I turned into everything, all the, that's who I am. I'm going to come. And I just wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing it, not just with mine. I wasn't seeing it across. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So yeah, you're coming in and you're like, okay, well, I want to earn an income. I'm a mom. I want to do this. I want to do it online, which I thought would have been brilliant if I'd have started already there. But that's what I love about John and Nadia, right? Like, I hated doing like in person. Like, I just didn't like it at all.
But here's the thing, and here's why, Emily, because you're an efficient person.
Yes, I like.
You like efficiency. And to people like us that like to have streamlined efficiency, belly to belly building is like, oh my goodness, you cannot conquer the world and help all the people when you're doing it one by one, and then you go and then they no show and then you schedule and then they reschedule. And it's like the biggest time suck.
It'll burn you out. Yes, it will burn you out. Absolutely.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
And this is why too, Emily, that I've seen in the last, so I've been in this social retail space. It'll be 3 years in November. I've seen big leaders, big. I mean, I was like a tiny little fish compared to some of the leadership that's coming this way because they are tired of exhausting their resources and themselves.
Exhausted. Yes, absolutely. And I do want to get into that because I feel like I have a lot of friends in a lot of different companies, and I've said this before, I will share my story on another date at another time. So I won't get too into it, but I feel like, hey guys, if you're hopping on, please say hey, let us know where you're tuning in from. And if this is valuable for you guys, we want to say hey. I just feel like so many can relate because I got to the point where I looked up, I looked to the side, and I was like, if that's what this takes, I'm done. I'm out. And I am not a quitter. Like, if you know me, like, I don't quit. It has to be for a good cause. And it took me a lot to jump ship, like a lot. And but the reality was that there were multiple leaders with adrenal fatigue and just like, I'm like looking at them going, I don't want that. Right. So I started searching for a different way. So if that's you, we're going to share the different way today, because I feel like the reason why it's disrupting the game, the reason why it's attracting, and there is a difference. It's not like we're out there going, okay, come on over here. The water's fine. Right. You can't take people that aren't willing to go. I was willing to go. I was actively like, okay, this is not working for me. I tried. Right. And the reality was it was a broken, duplicatable system like you talked about. So when you made this jump and you went in, what was it that was immediately, because I know that's part of your story, that was just like, right? Because I think that's how I felt when I moved. I was like,
it's like a breath of, like, it's, like you can breathe again. It is. So I'll tell you, well, one quick thing I want to just touch on that you mentioned, and it just popped into my head. I want to talk to you, those of you that have been with your company for years and you've planted your flag, and but yet you're not finding the success and you are frustrated and you are exhausted. That is a real thing. And I want to just tell you, friend, don't allow your loyalty, which is a wonderful trait to have, but don't allow your loyalty to trump your integrity. Because if you don't love where you're at anymore and the products are kind of maybe mediocre and you know what I mean? Like, you just aren't fired up. Like, this is what I do every day. I mean, I work with business. Pardon?
It's a business. At the end of the day, it should turn a profit and you should be happy because it's your business.
Absolutely.
Not because sister so-and-so and auntie so-and-so and your best friend brought you in.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, you know, like, I love you, Auntie Susie, but I gotta go. It's a business. Like, no, sorry, but it's a business not working for me. And that's hard.
But I remember that. Yeah, I remember that feeling. I remember like, oh my gosh, like and again, not a quitter. It's the athlete in us. Like, we don't quit. We just go and we go hard and whatever. And you have this loyalty to these people that truly, many of you, I hate to say it, you're just an auto ship to them. You're just some extra volume to them. And when I found social retail, I found, oh my word, efficiency, true duplication, value from like a friendship, leadership level, products that are literally changing lives. And we've got all the proof in the world. I mean, it crossed all the T's, it dotted all the I's. And when I said yes to this business in November of 2018, 6 weeks later, I quit my full-time job. And I couldn't have afforded to, I'll be honest with you, but I saw this for what it was. and I freaking flew. I was so fired up. 8 months here, went to one of the top ranks in the company. 11 months after that, we doubled that volume. It was nuts. It was, I mean, and it still is. I just keep seeing my team win. And as my team wins, I get to win by default, but it's about them and helping them make an extra $500 a month. And it's about them and helping them share the message like we're doing today, Emily. Like, it's locking arms with them truly and helping them build. And there are some that want to take it slow and walk a little bit, and they want to make just another $100 or $200 a month. And that's okay. You meet people where they're at. And then we have those that are just like, let's like friggin' Seabiscuit, like ready to run out of the gates and just hit it, you know? So anyway, I forget the question you asked me. I'm sorry. It's exciting to talk about.
Well, actually, I got squirrel tracked on yours. I was like, man, and that's what gets me, because my husband will ask me, he's like, well, how's it going? And I was like, oh yeah, it's good. But it amazes me how many people like are truly crushing it. You know what I mean? Like if I get, 7 customers in this last week, like I'm happy, right? And I'm like, oh, that's great. But then there's always somebody who did it in an hour, and you're like, not to compare, but for me, the athlete's like, all right, so I'm waiting on my go switch, because you know what I mean? It's like, there is something for everyone, and everyone can win, because, you might be watching and go, well, that's great for Mindy. She quit her job, but I can't do that. Right. Or maybe you do. You're like, hey, I'm all in. I like need to connect. This is the best culture, by the way. I love it. Everybody helps everybody, not just your own team. But the question specifically that I wanted was, what was it that you felt to make that pivot? Because I feel like a lot of, people that are tuning in, at least on my business page or YouTube or whatever, like they're already a business owner, or they're already an entrepreneur or mompreneur. Like they already have that mindset. What would you say was it that made you pick that all in to the initial pivot, the initial move? What was it that you felt? Did you just see is it an opportunity, or was there something else?
I saw the opportunity. I mean, on the opportunity side of things, I mean, there were many things. It was something different. It was something different. It wasn't the same, chart that you're flipping. It wasn't the same, place and replace product strategy, if you'd call it that. It wasn't the same. None of it was the same. It was very different. It was very like, the energy was just.
It's called different. It's social retail.
It's social retail.
Let's talk about it. What is that?
I mean, so what they've done, this is so freaking brilliant. What they've done was they've taken essentially the e-commerce space, right? The e-commerce space. We've got a beautiful website that you get when you become a social marketer. It's a beautiful website. It's nothing about here, click here for my opportunity. There's nothing like that. It's literally like people are going social shopping, right? Shopping, and then you earn anywhere from 10 to 36% on their purchase. Now, how do you get and there is the team building side to this too, which is my jam. I love building teams. It makes me like super happy. But you don't have to do that.
Right.
Let me repeat that again, because I think that's important. You can come here and you can crush the customer side of this compensation plan. You guys, we have, I got to be careful. I don't want to make any claims, but like TikTok, we've got people that are, I mean, it is
crushing it.
Dude, like 50,000 volume in a month.
Did you see there's a couple where they've done like a live, and they've done that in a couple.
It's mind blowing. And now, does that happen as soon as you push the button and as soon as you join? Of course not. These girls, some of them have been working at this for months, but I literally, okay, I don't know if I can, okay, I'm going to share this, like, I'm trying to share it compliantly, because this blew my mind.
No, share it compliantly. We got a lot of places.
Okay, but we have a gal that has been, very consistent with working on TikTok. She's also got an incredible weight loss story. She's lost like 90 pounds using our products and so forth. I saw her, she had shared with some of the elite leaders. She was blown away, humbled, blown away, just whatever. She had been making a comma check, a decent check for the last, however many months. The 1 month she had a viral TikTok. And I'm talking, it's more than what some people make in a year. She made in a month. I almost fell over. I mean, and she's bawling and whatever. But it's here's the thing. It's product sales through social selling. Yes. And we are literally taught by Emily. Wouldn't you say John and Nadia are some of the most, I would say, the most sought after attraction and curiosity marketing trainers in all of network marketing.
That's how I found them, searching that. And I followed them for, I want to say like 2 years, even meeting them at online affiliate events. It wasn't for network marketing, but I was just so drawn to them. And I had no idea like really what they really did like at the time. I just loved the content that they put out. I loved I just loved everything about them because I feel like so many can relate. So going back to hers again, for the people in the back, in case you missed it or just hopping on, what is social retail? You can make a good income on just sharing the products, getting customers. And I've had so many people, especially in my last, where they literally turned me down flat because it was not set up to thrive. Now, yes, mine was customer based. That's great. But the real money, like, okay, I had to work to get to a comma check real hard. And that was because I had recruited people. This is not like that at all, you guys. You can absolutely run your business just on doing that. Like she talked about, the one that's like crushing it over on TikTok. You guys, it would blow your mind. If you really want to know some numbers like you want to earn, yeah, hit us up in Messenger. We'll share it because there's an opportunity there. So I love social retail. I feel like there's a lot of people right now in the gig economy looking to make, they just need that. They might say like, oh, that's great for you and Mindy, but can I do this on top? Absolutely. When you say, Mindy, like, what do you say to the person who's like, well, I'm already so busy and I would love to make an income and that sounds good. Would you say they could fit it into what they're already doing?
Absolutely. Here's what it comes down to, my friends, is it comes down to just what your priorities really are. For me, I think about working this business while I was working at my job that I hated. I would have done, I worked there for, a few, 6 weeks or whatever. I was building, I was going live, I was doing some of these things. I was, in the bathroom for a little too long, messaging back people, but like I wanted to work myself out of that job, which again, I quit real quick before before I really should have. I think it was a 40-year-old midlife crisis. I was turning 40 the next month. Like I need to do something different with my life. Anyway, of course you can. It all comes down to what your priorities are. If you really need to, here's the thing, moms, you know how this works. When it comes to like, you need to make a couple $100 so you can make your car payment, or you can make a couple $100 so you can send your kid to private school this year. Like you will flex that hustle muscle pretty damn quick. Mm-hmm. And you will get out of your own way to get stuff done. And those are the people. I love it. I love it when we get those people that are eager, that are ready, that are coachable, that are like, listen, show me, this was me. Show me what to do. Show me how to do it. John's like, okay, tag, watch these videos, do these things. I'm like, great. Okay, I'm doing it. And that's what I did. I was very coachable. I was very action oriented. Fear was not a part of my vocabulary at all. And I freaking flew. Because I was like, listen, I had my husband and my kids like, you quit your job, mom? I'm like, yeah, just watch, this will work.
So I want to hear that, because I also want to go into, well, what is social marketing? What if they're like, oh, that sounds great, I would love to quit my job. Like maybe I can't yet, but what is this social marketing that you're talking about? So can you just kind of like explain it for the non-social marketers out there?
Yeah, you know what? So really what I would say social marketing is providing value in the marketplace. When you can, and this sounds so weird. And again, coming from somebody who was in the insurance and financial services industry, there was always strategies. We had like, what to say when they say this and what to say. It's like used car salesman. No offense if your husband's one or whatever, but like, there's always these hooks or whatever. Listen, I want to tell you guys something. When you provide more value, you become more valuable. Yes. And as we're out on social media, okay, we are now like, I don't look at my Facebook anymore like just posting random things. I'm very intentional with how I post and what I post. Most of the time, not all the time. I'm not really perfect at. There's sometimes I think something's really hilarious and I post it and I'm like, oh, that was stupid. Anyway, the point is, you're attracting people to you. And maybe, that's sometimes what people really need to work on. Sometimes I get on somebody's social media, I'm like, woo, sister is negative. Like there's no comments, there's no likes. We need to like turn this ship around before she thinks she's going to start making some money on this side of things. Cause here's why, Em, and you know this, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Have you guys ever been on somebody's live, or you followed somebody who's got a huge following and she's like, oh my gosh, this remote control is like magic, blah, 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 blah. It's $19.99. Here's the link in my bio or whatever. Okay. And everybody's like, holy crap, if this lady does this, if she loves this remote, I'm going to love this remote too. So you go buy it. Well, that's how we do what we do. It's like affiliate marketing. I mean, it's just like, here's my affiliate link. You can save $10 off your first purchase. Ta-da. You know, I think that was a nutshell version. I hope that makes sense, friends.
I love it. Well, this is what I tell people. I'm a bottom line. All right. If you want to make an income, you don't want to like be tramping around out. Like, if anything, this last year's taught us we can do a lot more online than we thought we could. So you can literally leverage your social media. That's what you're doing. We teach you to leverage your social media, and it's not in a salesy, icky kind of way. In fact, I would actually focus on the fact that, like, we use today's strategies. If I jump on somebody's Facebook profile, I don't care if it's business or personal, and I can tell like who they're with and every post, like, and I have a lot of like realtor friends, no offense to any of you guys, but if you friend request me and the only thing on your page is real estate, I'm not interested unless I'm actively looking for real estate right now. It's the same for anything else. Like, you have to be yourself. If you're not going to make any sales just selling people, nobody wants to follow that. And I think that's an outdated strategy. Maybe it worked, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, right? You could jump on or whatever, but nobody wants that now. And no one wants to feel sold to.
I want to touch on that. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I have friends, same thing. And God bless the realtors. And I know you guys are super slammed and busy, but you're missing an opportunity. And here's what I mean by that. If you had, and again, off topic a little bit, but like, I think about these friends of ours that are just blasting their personal pages with real estate. If they were blasting their personal pages with value and things that are going to engage people, they are going to bring more people, or Facebook's going to recognize that by the algorithm, or the algorithm's going to recognize there's a lot of traction and action. This person's really getting connected with a lot of people. And if you were more thoughtful with what you're posting on social media, you would attract more people, which then more people would see your page. So you're missing an opportunity just posting like that. So same thing, I mean, social retail, those people that are posting, here's my product and here's a product sale, and do you want to buy my stuff, and you should buy my stuff now, and blah, 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 blah. You are doing the absolute opposite of attracting anyone.
That's so important though, because that is a strategy, and I don't think it's taught. So, you know, I have an affiliate that I refer for people already totally happy where they are, right? But they want to learn new strategies. And that's where I started. That's literally where I started. I was over here and no one was teaching how to show up on social media. They weren't even teaching social media at all. I'm thinking, okay, you're not teaching me how to network, and you're not teaching me how to network marketing, then
Houston.
I literally was like looking at her like, am I the only one that like doesn't understand why we're not taught how to do these? How many of you guys can relate? I feel like you can. How many of you guys were taught, make a list of 100 names, right? Everyone is a prospect. That is not true. Chase down your friends and family. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying not to ever post. Like, you don't need to hide your little business or whatever, right? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like, hey, don't share what you like. We love what we do, right?
Yeah.
But we were I was taught that, like, everybody within a 3 foot, and everybody, like, I have a story, but I'll save that for another day. That's really funny. I actually made an ad on it and made me some money. That's how funny of a story it is on connecting in public and recruiting. But I digress. But I just love that, like, the strategies. I don't think that anywhere else that I know of, I honestly can say this. And I feel like I have a lot of friends in a lot of places as far as mompreneurs and network marketing. I've never seen anything like this. We like Mindy talked about, like, I just want to retouch on, like, you can earn an income and still focus on your family and not have those problems that we talked about in the beginning. You can earn an income online without running home parties and being on three-way calls for hours and hours. It's leveraging, it's being efficient, it's being a good businesswoman is what it is. Because I know that you guys are like, my family comes first, and I get that. And Mindy and I are like, I just want motivated mamas. That's what I always say. Like, I don't want to motivate you, but if you're already motivated, then this is perfect for you, because you can just get customers, if that's where you want to start, you can crush it on the other side because you can earn the dual side, which is brilliant. But the most important thing is it's just a system to plug into, because the strategies that we're talking about are already taught within what we're doing. You don't have to go looking for it anywhere else like I did. You don't have to like go down this like rabbit trail. It took me forever to like figure all that out and still come back to like, okay, well, what's the most important thing? And here it's like, oh my God, if I'd have just started here, holy crap. Like
you and me both, I tell you, you and me both. But now we learned what not to do. And
so we're gonna share that.
And I say that, I mean, with respect to those of you that are in the situation right now. And again, some of you kind of have the scales on your eyes or blinders on a little bit because you've only known what you've known. But I will tell you this, Emily will connect you to something called social retail versus MLM. We've got an incredible video that lays it out, kind of comparing the two. I think we've done a pretty good job of it, but, you know, when you know better, you do better, and you can't unsee that. When you've seen it and you go, oh my, I mean, that was me. When I watched that video, like I couldn't sleep. I was like, I mean, the wheels were cranking.
I love it. That's my favorite
entrepreneurial
ever.
Yeah, it was like, I mean,
like,
it was like
ever. I love you guys. The videos are so up to date. Like so my biggest complaint where I came from was the videos were so, they were tacky. I'll just leave it at that. And not new, not relatable, not like today's strategies, not like today's thing. You guys, this one video, literally, I wish I would have seen it before I moved. I think I would have moved over faster. But I just feel like so many of you guys are looking. Now, if you're happy and you're crushing it and you're like, I love building belly to belly, I love it, blah, blah, then great. We are not talking to you. If you've made it this far into this video, I'm assuming that you're stuck. I was just talking about that yesterday. I was like, I was so stuck. Like I didn't know what to do. And I have not had that problem. If anything, I've had the problem of knowing what to do and trying to figure out the time to do more of it, right? Like scale it. But it's totally doable, you guys. It absolutely is. You can absolutely make an income at it. Mindy is crushing it. She's a top earner. You might not be as crazy as quitting your job 6 weeks in to go all in, but honestly, you guys, why not? You could. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like you could be all absolutely. Or you might say like, hey, that's too much for me. You know, I just want to earn a little bit of income here and I would love to leverage. You guys are on social media anyway. I mean, to me, it's like a no-brainer. It's like you're leaving money on the table. Like, why not?
Yeah.
And if you're thinking it's because you have to sell something, newsflash, you guys, you sell stuff all the time. Every time you share somebody else's something. So why not?
That is such a good point. Social sharing is just what we naturally do. Now you get to now you just get to capitalize on that. And you know what's crazy too, Emily, and you are the same with this as well. But I mean, it is this attraction marketing space where, or rather affiliate marketing space where I now have an affiliate link for like a clothing line, and I've got an affiliate link for, you know, I don't promote those a lot, but somebody's like, where'd you get your shirt? Where'd you get your hat? I'm like, well, click on the link in my thing, you know, and it's great. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. The way
it really
are doing this.
I gotta say, I wish it was around. So I used to teach like in the Bay, in all these different athletic clubs. Now, granted, this was like early 2000s, so like social media wasn't really a thing. And I look back and I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, I wish that I knew then when we had what is now, because I had so much influence then. Because when you're getting in front of people and they trust you with their health and you're teaching a class or a spin class or whatever, they want to know where you get your hair done, where you get this, where you get your shoes, where you get your, like I sold underwear and they didn't even see that. Like, they'd have been like, oh, like, you know, and we laugh, but how many times have we had that conversation? TMI, but there's mamas on here probably, right? Like, hey, what's the best workout underwear that doesn't give me a rash on my butt? Like, it's important.
Bras. I was just looking for bras. So true. Anyway, no, it's the truth of the matter. And Emily, I honestly think just based on knowing what I know, have gone to the conferences, listened to the CEO and what she's got up her sleeve for what's coming again in 2022. It continues. And this is one more thing, and we can wrap this up. I know it's getting a little bit long, but the one thing that I get excited about is the vision for where it's going, because I look to, you know, this, I look to the leadership for just where's the big vision at? Like, what are you creating next? And there's new products coming in February or in at fall conference here in Phoenix. They're going to launch another piece of our skincare line, is what I understand. They've got some new technology coming in 2022. And so, like, you know, a lot of companies are stuck in the old way. This is just how we do it. This is how we do it. It's just like, I think of, you know, the wagon wheels just going down the old road, same old ruts, you know what I'm saying? And here it's like we're in a rocket and that sucker's going past the moon.
Well, you're going to learn. Like, I've learned so much. And so I would just ask you guys, if you're like, well, that might be me, I don't know, it's going to be hard to leave or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, if you're happy, that's great. We're not talking to you. But if you're not, you need to look at, are you learning? You know, or do you feel like me, like where you're just beating your head against the wall? And where I went to a conference, I'm not kidding, and the biggest tech update was that they changed the font and the color on the website. My daughter audibly laughed out loud because I was already in the digital marketing space, right? I was already learning how to, you know, like create an income online. And she was like, that was their big up. Like, there's so many that are trying to play catch up for what we have, like Mindy was saying. And the reality is that it's so forward thinking that, you know, and that was it for me. I was like, even if they caught the vision right now, it would take them so incredibly long to catch up. I would lose a lot of money because I'm a businesswoman. At the end of the day, like, where is going to be the most efficient use of my time and where can I create and build? Now, look, you guys, we're not talking about like, and everybody's going to be different. Let me just say that way, yeah. Right? Like, but if you're in this for the long haul and the right reasons, and you're just like, I really want to create this and earn an income, and I'm motivated and I'm in and I'm coachable and I think this is amazing, you can do it and still have your family be that, not be like those crazy, like worn out people in the beginning that we were kind of talking about. Right.
Right.
So I just want to wrap it up with that. Mindy, is there anything that you have like to add?
Oh my goodness. I don't know that, because I don't want to get in another kind of tangent or going down, but
I'll do another one another day.
I was going to say, Emily, we need to do this more often. This is like super fun and very, I think, informative. And I hope that it's piques some interest. And I want to just say too, this is one more thing, I guess, that I've kind of, I don't like to use the word pride myself on, but I don't know how else to explain it, but I'm also never in the business of convincing anyone.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you see it and you're like, whoa, well, let's talk. And if you see it and you're like, no, I'm good. Okay.
No big deal.
No, because you know what? There are billions of people on social media and God's making new people every day. And so like my abundant mindset is just huge. So just know too, I want to just say, just know too, when you connect with Emily, maybe we'll jump into a chat and kind of talk through what you got going on. If it's a fit, great. And if it's not, that's cool. We love you anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly, in the past, I have to share this. I went to a conference and went up there and every person was talking about how it got beat into them. And I was laughing because I was like, okay, well, I guess obviously they did it because they're up on the stage. But then the other thing, part of me, immediate jerk reaction was, God, I don't want to do that. I don't want anyone to get up there and go, well, she beat it into me. Like, and don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't stay in contact or whatever, but how many of you guys feel like you're chasing the same 10 or 20 people? Like, that's how I felt. So I just love that we can share this and hopefully help motivate you. Like, even if you're in your business and you're happy with it, like maybe you took away a couple of strategies, like, oh, maybe I will take all the products off my feed because that's probably a good idea. Hello, Facebook, just saying. Like, like maybe you got a new strategy out of it, but you're not quite ready to pivot yet. That's okay. But when you're ready, we hope that you keep us in mind because you guys, there is a better way. And it's kind of like when you get over to the other side and you're like, you didn't know what you didn't know. And you're like, oh my God, where has this been all my life? That's
it's like that cell
phone. I'm like
the doves fly out of the closet and there's music. No, I'm kidding.
You guys, it's like, where has this been all my life? Like, seriously. You guys, it's that good. We're not just saying that. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, like, please drop info. If this was helpful to you guys, if it was interesting, if you're a mompreneur, like, please say, hey, let us know. If you just want me to send you the video that we were talking about, just text more to 650-250-4443. I will shoot it to you. Like, no harm, no foul. If you're like it and you're like, yep, I want to know more, If not, no big deal. But Mindy, thank you so much. I love these. These are my favorite because I like to like chat. You know, the teacher in me is like, yeah, I like the feedback. So if you're watching this on the replay, let us know so we can get back. I will comment, I promise, and get back to you. But thanks again, Mindy. I just so appreciate you so much. And I'm excited. This next year is going to be awesome.
Girlfriend, Phoenix is coming sooner than we even. I can't believe how fast this year is going. And so I can't wait to hug you and squeeze you. And thank you for everything. I just appreciate you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.